Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jules and I've lost 50 pounds and I've kept it off now for over 2 years. And I went from looking like this to looking like this. And I've eaten really healthy foods along the way before and after. But here's the thing. You can eat really healthy foods like avocados and almonds and protein bars and still be in a calorie surplus. In this video, I am going to break down 10 with a bonus food, so actually 11 healthy foods that are actually healthy and they are viewed as being healthy. However, they actually can cause weight gain and prevent weight loss and give you stalls and plateaus. So I'm going to break down 10 really common foods that are viewed as healthy, that we all probably eat at one point or another, that are causing issues in weight loss or weight stalls. And one simple reason, because they're so easy to overeat unconsciously. So let's get into it. Number 1, peanut butter. Now, as a kid, I hated peanut butter. As an adult, I loved it. I love peanut butter, and I love the natural peanut butter. It doesn't have any sugar, it doesn't have the fillers in there. It's filling, it makes me drink more water because it's so sticky, but it's so easy to overeat it. 1 tablespoon is 100 calories. 2 tablespoons are 200 calories. Have you ever actually measured a tablespoon? Because when I measured it, I'd stick my tablespoon in there and it would be a heaping tablespoon, and I count that as 1. In reality, it was probably 3 tablespoons. So now you're looking at 300 calories, but I'm thinking it's 100. Then I would lick off all the extra peanut butter that was there, or if I'm using a knife, I'd lick that off. So I'm not counting that either because that doesn't count. But a lick of peanut butter, that easily could be like 30, 40 calories right there. Now, if I'm doing 1 tablespoon heaping, and then I do 2 tablespoons that are heaping, and I'm thinking 200 calories, but the reality is 600 calories. Wow, that's a pretty big difference, and you can see where we go wrong and how we think we're eating healthy. We end up overeating by so much without even realizing it. This is why I measure, because that really gives you the truth. It gives you accuracy. It gives you accountability. Because otherwise you're just hiding. You're like, I don't want to know. But it's good to know, because what happens when you can't lose weight or you run into a stall and you think I'm doing all the things, but are you? Was I? No, I wasn't. So treat peanut butter kind of a rarity, because it's not really a good thing to use when you're losing weight, because it's way too easy to overeat it and hard to manage that. I kind of treat it now like a dessert or a real, once in a while treat. Or even better yet, if I'm really wanting a peanut butter fix, I have a Julian bar, protein bar, one of their peanut butter ones. Tastes like peanut butter, really good. It also makes me super thirsty, so I always have an entire glass of water with my bar. So I'm getting the bar, I'm getting really good protein with it. It's 20 grams protein with the bar, 17 grams of fiber, and I'm drinking a whole glass of water. So that's a little bit healthier, manageable calories. You're getting more protein in that than you would be in peanut butter. Okay, number 2, healthy foods, salad dressings. I'm so guilty of this. I look at all these foods, and I've done, I think, all of these 11 foods. So salad dressings, so easy if you're just pouring out of the bottle, or if you go to a restaurant and they just put the salad dressing on and you have no idea how much you're actually putting on, and you're like, maybe it's 100 calories, maybe 200 calories, when the reality is, if you're putting on 4-6 tablespoons of whatever salad dressing that you think is, fairly light, and you're putting it straight out of the jar, all of a sudden those couple hundred calories, they're now, bam, they're up to like 600 calories just in salad dressing, nothing else. So again, measure it and portion control that. And if you're going out to a restaurant, what I always do is ask for the dressing on the side, so I can decide how much dressing I'm going to put on my salad. And I try to put the minimal amount, but still give it taste when I go out, because otherwise you go to a restaurant, they could literally like be drenching your salad in the salad dressing, and there's usually, you know, a lot of oil that's coming with that. Number 3, again, another one that I'm guilty of. I've done this. Nuts, seeds, trail mix. Back in the day, I don't know if anyone remembers Goop. Does that trigger any memories? When I was a kid, we used to have this thing called Goop. It was nuts, raisins, and M&Ms. And that supposedly was healthy. And as a kid, we thought it was healthy because there were nuts in there along with everything else. And raisins, oh, raisins are healthy, right? Dried fruit. So, hey, leave me a comment if you know what Goop is. That's kind of like an 80s thing, I think. So, nuts. I love having those candied walnuts in my salad. Boy, do those taste good. I'll still have that now. When I go out and I get a takeout salad, put salmon in it or steak or chicken or whatever, I like the candied nuts that are in there, but that's a treat for me. I used to do that every day, even when I was trying to lose weight. I thought it was healthy. I'm having a salad, I'm having protein, but put a lot of nuts in there. And then the candied version, that's really going to increase the calories because now they're coated in sugar. So again, you're looking at a tablespoon of nuts or an ounce, probably it's more like in ounces. Look at an ounce of nuts. You're probably looking at about 180 to 200 calories. Do you know what an ounce looks like? Like, it's like this big. Maybe you're putting on 2 ounces, so now you're actually getting in closer to 400 calories in nuts. That's nuts. I mean, when I started actually measuring it out, I was shocked. I'm like, oh, it's not even worth putting nuts on. I'm not even buying them anymore because it's exceeding my calories and it's just not worth it. I don't need the nuts. Once in a while, as a treat, sure. Not on a daily basis. All right, what are we up to? We're up to number 4. Avocados. Yes, avocados. They are healthy. They're really healthy. They're like such a great healthy fat. However, once you open up the avocado, if you don't eat the whole thing, it kind of spoils for the most part. They don't last long. They are expensive. I used to eat them all the time. I love them. In fact, not only would I put them in my salad, I would just eat them whole, thinking, well, it's healthy. I'm good. But a whole avocado, you're probably looking at 250 calories for the whole thing. Maybe more, depending on how big the avocado is. And, you know, if you're putting the avocado on like toast with the bread, well, you know, now you're looking at what, 500 calories, 600 calories for toast and avocado. How much bang for your buck are you getting, or is it worth it at that point? For me, again, it's a treat once in a while. I'll have it in sushi or maybe on a salad as a treat, not as an everyday thing, because I don't want to waste it. So then I end up eating the whole thing, and now I'm like way over in the calories. Number 5, protein bars. Yeah, this is why I'm so careful on the protein bars. There's so many to choose from. And the reason why I really like the Julian Bakery protein bars, what I look for in a protein bar is I look for something that's generally under about 200 calories, high protein and fiber. Those are the 3 things. And I also try and look for natural ingredients. So looking for something doesn't have fillers, doesn't have words I can't pronounce, artificial this, that, and the other. I don't want sugar in it. And the Julian Bakery is just a really freaking amazing bar. They have 3 different bars. They range from 190 to 210 calories, all 20 grams of protein. That's very high. 17 grams of fiber, also very high. So that's a powerful combination. Protein and fiber really are satiating. They really fill you up. And natural ingredients made with monk fruit, which is natural sugar. So it doesn't have anything artificial. If you look at the ingredient list, it's like this big. You can pronounce everything in it. So you have to be really careful with the protein bars, because some of those protein bars, they're like 300, 400 calories. It's not just a snack. It's not a bar. It's like a meal. It's a lot. And then you have artificial ingredients, and then you've added sugars, and who knows how much protein you're actually getting. And fiber, a lot of them don't have a lot of fiber in it. And I think the fiber is really super important, coupled with the protein, to really make you feel full. And again, you know, I look at protein bars as not a staple in my diet, but they can be a treat when I want something sweet. And they also can be something that I can grab or take with me if I need something on the go and I don't want to be just reaching for something that I will regret later. So I'll stash one in the car, throw one in my pocketbook if I'm out, take it on vacation with me or on a business trip. So, you know, I'd use it in that regard. Number 6, that's going to get you into trouble: smoothies, protein shakes. Those are gonna potentially get you in trouble. Why? Because they're full of calories. You start putting in all different ingredients and throwing in lots of fruits. And I did this. I tried doing, and I was measuring everything at this point, but in my weight loss journey, I did try doing the protein drinks or protein shakes, and I thought I was doing it in a healthy way. I'm throwing in lots of frozen fruit and, you know, strawberries and bananas and all this stuff, and the protein and whatever, the almond milk or whatever I was using in there. It tasted really good, but it was a lot of calories, which meant that I had to figure out how I was balancing my calories for the day. So if you're not really measuring that out, before you know it, you could be at 500 to 800 calories for this so-called healthy protein drink. So just be very careful about that. The other thing for me was that it actually made me hungrier. It increased my appetite. I did the protein drinks for about a month, and I was wondering, like, why am I hungry all the time? And like the only thing that changed was me having this protein drink. And I tried whey protein. I also tried the pea protein as something different. They both did the same thing. So I cut them out. I said, I'm not doing protein. I'll just have regular whole foods. And that worked for me. So just be aware of your body and how it's feeling and what you're taking in, and if you track and all those things and how you're incorporating that. But that could be excessive calories. Okay, number 7, cooking oils, sprays. It is so easy to go over on the cooking oil. Again, super guilty of that. If you listen to my What I Eat in a Day video that I did a couple weeks ago, I talk about cooking my healthy salmon on the grill, but I used to put in half a cup of olive oil. But hey, it's healthy, right? We all know olive oil is really healthy, so I thought I was doing a good thing. That literally could be 500 calories more. The other thing that I used to do back in the day that I remember now, I used to cook pasta. I loved pasta. I used to cook pasta along with my salmon, and I used to dip my plain pasta into the oil and just eat it. I can't even imagine how many calories, but I thought it was healthy because it's olive oil, and not knowing that that little snack before dinner of dipping my pasta into the oil could have been like 500, 600 calories between the oil and the pasta, and then I'm having my dinner. So yeah, when you're not aware and you think you're doing well, again, I always go back to tracking, because it really does bring an awareness. It brings an aha, like, wow, this is actually what I'm eating. So I use cooking sprays because it limits the amount of calories and oil that are going like into the pan. I'm very light on the cooking spray, but it's much easier to manage, and you can get the olive oil or the avocado oil cooking spray and use that. So that is my recommendation. And you're only getting, what, maybe 20 calories in a spray, something like that, 30 calories. And I'll be honest, I don't count the spray. That's the one thing that I don't count in my calories. Maybe I should. I just don't. It's just kind of what I do. I don't really use too much of it. Number 8, whole grains. Again, I thought, wow, I'm healthy. I'm eating brown rice. I'm eating quinoa and oats, and this is like all healthy stuff. But if you ever measure out like oatmeal, and you really measure out a half a cup of cooked oatmeal is about 110, 120 calories. It's not that big of a portion. Easily I could have double that and still be hungry. So this is another reason why, you know, it's really important to have your protein, because that's going to help you to feel full and satiate you. Not just me, but I know it works with other people too. But again, or you know, your rice, or, you know, whatever, brown rice or healthy starchy carb, they add up really, really quick. It's so easy to throw down, you know, 400 or 500 calories in rice. That's why I always measure it out now. I measure out, for me, I'm probably somewhere in the half a cup to 1 cup. There are days that I will have much more than that. If I'm really, really hungry, there are days I might have a cup and a half. But I measure it out so that I'm portioned and I know exactly what I'm getting, so I'm not getting kind of crazy there. Number 9, also guilty with this one, dried fruit. I also thought that was healthy. It's fruit. It's dried. So what? It's still fruit. Isn't it healthy? Okay, one of the things that I used to put on my salad, my healthy salad at night, was dried cranberries. Hey, cranberries are healthy, right? It's even better than raisins and whatever, vitamins and minerals and whatever. But I used to put a lot of dried fruit on my salad. And it was tasty, but I didn't realize it. And this was even during my dieting phase. This was even during like the weight loss phase, I should say. And then I got into, stuck and got into a stall. And then when I started to measure things out and whatnot, and I really started looking in the macros, I'm like, oh, it's kind of pure sugar. And you're better off maybe just having an apple or the entire fruit that comes with water and the hydration in it and the skin, because it's so easy to overeat on the dried fruit. And again, you're having sugar on top of on that, because generally dried fruit has sugar. Again, you're easily 200, 300, 400, 500 extra calories in dried fruit that you're eating on your salad, or you're throwing in with your nuts or wherever you're just eating it. Super, super easy to not know how much you're eating until you account for it or just say no. Now, most of the salads that I get when I do takeout or go out to eat, they do come with dried fruit, but I always ask them not to do it because it's too many calories. It's not worth it for me. The taste isn't that worth it. I would rather have something different, like cheese. If I'm going to trade certain things and figure out what's going to work, within my calories for the day. So I always say, leave off the raisins, leave off the cranberries, whatever. I don't want them. Number 10. Number 10 is the healthy baked goods. I say healthy. The keto friendly, the GLP-1 friendly, the carb friendly baked goods. This is where you really need to be kind of an ingredient detective. You can't just grab it off and be like, oh, they say it's healthy, it's got protein in it and whatever, and throw it in your cart and you're like, oh, this will be a good snack. Look at the portion sizes, because generally it'll say, oh, half a cup is 100 calories. Oh, okay, I could work with that. But are you really going to be satisfied with half a cup? Or are you going to be kind of eating the whole thing? Because I know me, if it's really tasty and they're designed to be tasty and addictive, still, even if it's GLP-1 friendly or carb friendly or have high protein or whatever it is, keto, chances are half a cup isn't going to do it for you. You're going to end up eating the whole package or eating all of it. And all of it meaning not 100 calories. Now you're eating 400, 500, 600 calories for that little snack. And if you're really that hungry, quite honestly, this is what I do. If I'm that hungry, I'll make it a meal. So I'll have like something that actually has protein in it, like chicken or salmon. You know, maybe I'll couple that with something else. But at that point, it's a lot of extra calories. So just be really careful about those, you know, baked goods, the sneaky little keto thing that they put on there, or, oh, it's high in protein, you know, that type of thing. So really look in the ingredients and the portion sizes and ask yourself, will you actually be satisfied with that portion, and measure it out? And if you are, great, and you can manage that within your calorie deficit or maintenance, great. And it doesn't trigger you to want more, because those are things that you need to look at. Those are always the things that I ask myself. Am I going to be triggered? Am I going to actually want more than what it's providing me? And if the answer is yeah, and I can't hold myself back, I just don't buy it. I don't want it in my house. All right, here's the bonus one, number 11, and it's cheese. Yeah, cheese, the other healthy snack. I know, lots of calcium and protein, and yes, it does have protein in it. Yes, it has calcium in it. But again, have you ever measured out an ounce of cheese? 1 ounce of cheese, you're looking at about 110 calories. I love cheese, and I do put gorgonzola cheese on my salad whenever I have a salad, almost every night. And I measure my cheese out, because I used to just throw the cheese on, and I now measure out and go, oh, I was probably putting on about 500 calories worth of cheese just on my salad. And now I put on somewhere between 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces. That's it. I usually do not go more than 1.5 ounces, because at 1.5 ounces, you're still looking at about 180 calories just in cheese. Now you combine that with your salad dressing and all the other things, and now your healthy salad. So think about it. You get a salad, you think you're doing the right thing. You got a salad, you get your protein, and now you're putting on salad dressing, nuts, cheese, dried fruit. That healthy salad could easily be 1,300, 1,800 calories. You're better off getting a cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, you're looking at maybe, what, 500 calories? So you see the comparison? So you have to be really careful with these healthy foods. I got tricked into it. I got fooled and then kept fooling myself until I started tracking and measuring and really was able to understand the truth and be ready for it and then do something about it. So these 11 foods can really trick you and prevent weight loss. They can make you stall. And if you're aware and you start measuring and tracking using a kitchen scale, measuring spoons, and measuring cups, you will now be able to do something about it. You can fix some of these healthy things from happening. So I do want to be very clear that none of these foods are bad, and they are healthy foods, and they can be part of your weight loss journey and your weight maintenance journey if used in the right portion sizes for you. If we stop measuring and tracking, especially when we get to maintenance, thinking, hey, like we've arrived and we're good to go, that's when calorie creep can happen. And that's when if you kind of put your head in the sand a little bit and you're not really aware of what's going on and the weight starts to come back, then I would strongly suggest going back to counting, tracking, and measuring, or just keep doing it and make it a habit so that you don't stop. It is. I'll have to make a video on that, because I think a lot of people think that it's really super hard and annoying and, gee, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And yeah, you may not have to do it the rest of your life. I mean, I've been doing it now for 2.5 years. It's just part of my life. It's easy. Will I do this the rest of my life? I don't know. I mean, there's many years ahead of me, but I don't also see why not. Like, it's really easy and it keeps me where I am, and it actually provides me more sanity and clarity and guardrails, and I don't find it arduous, and I'm not obsessive and crazy about it. If I can't track something, I just guesstimate, and it's fine. If I'm out somewhere, I'm on vacation, it's not a big deal. I don't put pressure on myself. But I also don't get crazy foods with like 50 ingredients in it. Yeah, that would be difficult. But you shouldn't be getting 50 ingredients, because at that point you know the calories are going to be insanely high. You know, if you keep those ingredients on the lower side, that, like, you know, 3-5 ingredient type of thing. So at the end of the day, keep tracking, keep measuring, know what you're eating, know how much you're eating, portion things out. And could we also maybe just start normalizing having dinner for breakfast? I know in my video, I eat salmon for breakfast, I eat chicken for breakfast, and back in the day, that might have been kind of weird, and I think we've kind of normalized, you know, eating breakfast foods, which are very, very carbohydrate laden. And if we just normalized having, you know, dinner for breakfast, burger, whatever, I think we make life a lot easier for us and a lot healthier for us, and get the day started with, you know, a big chunk of protein, which stabilizes blood sugar levels and keeps us full longer, and we don't get crazy hungry throughout the day. So I don't know, you know, a little salmon, a little chicken at 7 in the morning instead of a sugary smoothie, or, you know, just having a cup of oats might be the way to go, and might be the way to fuel your day. May not be tradition, but hey, let's start something new. So let me know what you think in the comments. What are you going to have for breakfast now? And have you sabotaged by accident your diet or your health journey with any of these 11 healthy foods? And if you're on a GLP-1 journey and you're looking to lose more weight, I have a ton of videos on how to do that, how to break your stall, how to get out of plateau, how to build muscle, how to train better, how to eat better, how to change your mindset so that it will last. You can maximize your GLP-1 effectiveness and adhere to it and make it easy, fun, sustainable, and it will work for you long term. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Remember, healthy habits are about awareness, not restriction.